Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. When the realities of life are uncovered, change is a must. Greetings to you all, my dear followers that have been supporting the work. Greetings to you all, those that also have problem with the work. Greetings to you all. Thank you very much. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your anger. Thank you for your negativity. Thank you for your happiness. Those of you enjoying it, you are welcome. Those of you who don't like it, but yet you watch it, you are welcome. The greatest thanks goes to those of you sharing the videos and making the videos to go viral. We are liberating Africa from all angles. Political problems are connected with religious problems. In fact, they are intertwined. In fact, they are two-sided coin. As we are freeing ourselves from neo-colonialism, we have to free ourselves from foreign invaded religions as well. Anybody that is not ready to get rid of those religions in their life, they should practice it in their room and leave other people be. Parents, leave your children be if they don't want to do it. The threat is not gonna take you anywhere. This is our time. Thank you for being with us for all this while. We are grateful. We are done with one episode of the Islamic expose. Now we are heading towards another episode. Now, looking at the previous videos about the swearing of the allegiance to Muhammad, the fictional character for that matter, the next thing that we're supposed to talk about supposed to be the migration from Mecca to Yathrib, where they moved. Muhammad moved all his activities to Yathrib. That is what we're supposed to discuss. Migration, which is al-hijrah in Arabic language and Islamic terms. Al-hijrah, migration, which is the basis and the sources of Islamic calendar. But no, there is something that happened before the migration took place. That is what we are about to embark on. This incident seems to be very significant and seems to be very important in the life of Islamic history. In Islamic history. Muslims don't joke with it. To some Muslims, they even celebrate it. Just like the way some Muslims celebrate the birth of the fictional character Muhammad. This incident is an incident that has been celebrated, that has been spoken about. A whole lot of books has been written about this incident. Some summarized it, some expounded it, some spoke only the surface of it, some went deeper to talk about this incident. It's not a mere incident in Islamic history. In fact, it was this incident and what transpired and what took place in this incident that make a Muslim a Muslim. Yes, One of the key things that transpired in this incident is what determined whether one is a Muslim or not by the mainstream Muslims. This incident has caused so many trippings in Islamic history. In fact, some Muslims in Mecca who joined Islam early in Mecca left Islam because of this incident, because it doesn't sound okay for them and it does not make sense for them. What is the incident I'm referring to? It is what is known in Islamic history as Al-Isra'u wal Miraj. The night journey, or more professional or more technically, the nocturnal journey of Muhammad and the ascension into the seven heavens, according to Muhammad. Despite the fact that this incident is very important, is very huge, in fact, it is very, very monumental incident according to Islamic history, but yet still, it is incident that is full of discrepancies, inconsistencies, irregularities, and so many tripping ups. This incident that marks significant beginning of Islamic religion, yet still it is the incident that is questionable. It is an incident that when an accurate historian declared that the incident has never taken place, you can't blame him. If someone claims that the incident is a fabricated one, you can't blame him. If someone decides today to say that the incident is a lie, it's a fallacy, it has never happened, you can't blame them, because the incident itself and the stories in the incident itself is hitting each other, and it is saying this is hoax and this is a fallacy. It is improbable. It is incident that is full of abstruse and obscurity. The nocturnal journey of Muhammad and the ascension to the seven heavens. Now, Al-Isra'u in Arabic language means night journey. When you say Saraitu, when one says Saraitu in Arabic language, Saraitu, it means I traveled in the night. When one says, or one group of people said Saraina, not Sirna. Sirna is different, or Sirtu is different. This is Saraitu. Saraitu, not Sirtu. No. Or Sarah. He has traveled at night. Saraitu, I have traveled at night. So Al-Isra'u is traveling at night. Hence, there's a chapter in the Quran. Quran chapter number 17 has been named after this incident. And the surah or the chapter is called Surah Al-Isra, the chapter of the nocturnal journey. But the chapter has another name actually. It is also called Surah Bani Israil, or Surah Banu Israil, the chapter of the children of Israel. Because there is also a story about children of Israel in that chapter. Quran chapter number 17, chronologically. This Quran that we are holding, chronologically, that is Quran chapter number 17. So Al-Isra is nocturnal journey. This Al-Isra, in this context, is the nocturnal journey Muhammad claimed he had in one night from Mecca to the land of Palestine. Bayt al-Maqdis, the house of purity. What is Bayt al-Maqdis? This question has no answer. Who built Bayt al-Maqdis? This question has no answer. The only religious edifice in that land when this incident was assumed to take place was King Solomon's temple. So, is it King Solomon temple that is termed in Islamic books as Bayt al-Maqdis, the house of purity, or what? Well, we leave these questions for another day. So, Al-Isra means the nocturnal journey, the night travel of Muhammad from Mecca to Palestine, Bayt al-Maqdis, the house of purity, which we don't know which house was it at that time. One night. And in the same night, something also happened, which is known as al-miraj, the ascension into the sky, into the seventh heaven. Into the seventh heaven. The same night, these two significant journeys took place. The nocturnal journey from Mecca to Medina is said to take place with an animal with a donkey shape, but also looks like a camel that Muhammad rided, which has wings. This donkey has wings. There is another description of the donkey, but we leave it for now, which has wings, and when it flies, the only place where it lands is where its sight ends. Baby anemi eshekosinu otua eho ena ojina. So if the sight of this flying donkey ends at somewhere like Agbogloshi, from here to Agbogloshi, when it flies, it will land at Agbogloshi, and then it will also continue with the sight and land wherever the sight ends. This is what Islamic books are saying. So, at that night, from Mecca to Bayt al-Maqdis, the house of purity, or the purified house, which we don't know which house was that. Was it King Solomon's temple or any other house? Muhammad rided the flying donkey from Mecca to Bayt al-Maqdis on the land of Palestine with an entity known as Jibril. And then at the Palestine, in the house of purity, or in the purified house, Muhammad led prayers with some of the previous Abrahamic religious messengers or prophets. The likes of Abraham, Moses, and Jesus were found there Listen attentively. When Muhammad rided the flying donkey from Mecca to Palestine, in the house of purity, or in the purified house, there was Abraham, who was seen as prophet to Muslims. There was Moses, who was also seen as prophet to Muslims. There was also Jesus, who was also seen as prophet to Muslims. In there, waiting for him. Maybe they knew he was coming. And then he led them in prayers. What kind of prayers, we do not know. He led them in prayers. And then he was given 2-3 cups of liquid. One is honey, one is milk, one is alcohol. He chose milk and leave the honey and alcohol. And it was said to him by Jibril, the entity called Jibril, that you have chosen right and your followers are guided. Don't worry, we are not there yet. I'm going to discuss this incident for you in 3 parts. We're going to have first part, second part, and third part. But listen, this particular video is preamble for this incident. It's not part of the 3 parts. Now, the 3 part of the discussion of this incident, Al-Isra wal-Miraj, the nocturnal journey of Muhammad and the ascension to the 7 heavens, the 3 parts are going to be coming from Sirah books. After that, I'm going to give you another extra 2 parts, which are coming from Hadith books, which differ a little bit from what the Sirah scholars are narrating. Then we are done. In all, I'm going to give you 5 different episodes of this incident, the nocturnal journey of Muhammad and his ascension into the 7 heavens. 5 episodes, 3 from the Sirah books and 2 from Hadith books. This is not part of any of them. This is an introduction or preamble to this incident. Having said that, let me take you to the next level of the preamble of this incident. I want to talk about the characters, maybe some of the characters who played or who took part in this story of ascension. Now, the first character who is seen to be the one that sent the invitation was Allah, the deity Allah, the Arabian deity Allah. 1. The second character is the one that has been invited. That is Muhammad, the fictional character. The third character is the one that escorted him. That is the entity known as Jibril. And the fourth character, maybe the last character for that matter, was the character that the whole thing took place in her room. It is a female character. Who was she? She is a lady known by nickname Umuhani. But the real name of Umuhani is said to be Hind or Fahita. So either Fahita or Hind, she is the fourth character. So you have these four characters, the four main characters of this incident. Allah, the deity, Muhammad, the one that has been invited, the entity known as Jibril, the escort, the fourth character, a female who is known as Umuhani. Yeah. Umuhani is her nickname. Her real name is said to be Hind. Well, this name Hind actually in Arabian Peninsula was not a name. Well, I think in this country or in African countries, when we name someone Hind, we end up calling them Hindu. Yeah, we end up calling them Hindu. Now listen, the word Hind means India in Arabic. So I don't know why someone will be called India. A whole human being will be named after a whole race. No. But listen, I understand why Arabs name their daughters Hind. Arabs, in fact, Arabian Peninsula to be specific, believe and know that Indian ladies are beautiful. So when they give birth to a beautiful young lady or a beautiful bouncy daughter, they name her Hind because of her beauty, meaning she has the beauty of Indian ladies. So they call her Hind. Well, to extend that, they use swords that are made from India. So you hear them saying Saiful Hindi, sword of India. They love Indian swords as well. They think Indians are also best when it comes to molding swords. So you hear them in so many poems of Arabians. You hear them talking about Saiful Hindi, the swords of India. So any lady that is called Hind in Arabian Peninsula is called Hind because of her beauty. But the word Hind in Arabic language means India. Well, you are here calling your daughters India. I just told you the reason why Arabs are calling their daughters Hind, which means India. I don't know why you as African want to call your daughter Hind. I don't know. If you have your reason, you can drop the reason in my comment section. We are here to learn. So some people say Umuhani, the fourth character of the story of the ascension and the nocturnal journey of Muhammad, her real name is Hind. And some say no, her real name is Fahita. Let's discuss something a little about 3 or 2 of the characters. 3 or 2 of the characters. As for Allah, I don't want to talk about Allah now. I'll talk about Allah when we are about to enter or we are about to start the discussion of the Quran. That is where I'm going to talk about what is Allah, who is Allah, or what it, I don't know whether it is, he, I don't know, but whatever is Allah, when we are about to start Quranic discussion, we'll talk about that. Well, the descriptions of Allah that I'm gonna give you is coming from Islamic books as well, and they will make you laugh. Actually, some of them are really laughable. And also the second character. So let's leave Allah, the character Allah, out of this for now. The second character might be the escort, the entity known as Jibril. Let me give you something brief about Jibril. This entity is said to be Archangel Gabriel. But as a researcher, as a reader who reads everything, I walk and pick papers on floor and read them. Some time ago, some of my friends think I'm going mad. I pick papers on the ground and read them. As far as they are written in a language that I can read them, I pick them and read them. I do. In fact, I don't like private places, like where we go to ease ourselves. Those days when we were living in the house where we don't have private in the house, we go pay and go to ease ourselves. One of the reasons why I enjoy going there is the papers that are being given to us when we are going to ease ourselves. Most of them are old graphics, so I love to read them. They have helped me a lot in reading. So anytime I'm going to ease myself, I don't think of going to ease myself. I think of the type of paper they're going to give me, because I'm going to read it. So I enjoy reading them. The place that we used to go to ease ourselves those days is not that good. Well, I grew up in the poor area, slum area, in Ashama, here, Tabo Line, the wooden structure community. That is where I grew up. Growing up, I thought we were living in a better place, not knowing. It was later I got to know that I grew up in a ghetto. Ashama Tabo Line, which simply means the wooden structure community, is a ghetto altogether. So those of us who grew up there, our mothers and fathers are all ghetto people. We are ghetto boys. Greetings to my ghetto boys in Ashama. I salute you. So where we go to ease ourselves, that place is not that good. The smell is not that good. It's poor people's place, you know. But the only thing that helps me not to pay attention to the smell is the graphic that they give us to use to wipe our somewhere, the down there. But because I read them, I forget about the smell in the place. So when I go and they give me a paper in a language that I cannot read, I become furious. I get angry. Yeah, so I love to read. So as a reader, this entity known as Jibril, which people think this entity is the same entity as Archangel Gabriel in the Bible or in the previous Abrahamic religions, trust me, let me tell you something. The Jibril of Islamic religion is not Archangel Gabriel. That is, even if there is any entity known as Archangel Gabriel, then the Jibril of Islam is not Archangel Gabriel. Trust me. I'm telling you this on authority. I got nothing to do with angels because I've never seen one. If any angel want to have respect, want to attract respect from him, let the angel appear to me and speak to me. If any deity or any god want me to have something to do with it, let that deity or that god speak to me personally. He should not send other people to me. So as far as I'm concerned, angels, deities, demons, gods, to hell with them. I got nothing to do with them because I don't know them. I've never seen them before. So I don't care about them. But I do care to some extent because I'm discussing these things to you. So Jibril of Islam is not Archangel Gabriel of previous Abrahamic religion. That is, even if something like that exists. Now let me tell you a little bit of Jibril of Archangel Gabriel of Islam. Jibril of Islam is a human being who appears to Muhammad in the form of one of the companions of Muhammad, who is known as Dihiyatul Kalbi. one of street boys of Arabian Peninsula, known as Dihiyatul Kalbi, is the physical human form of Jibril of Islam. Now, in my readings of the Jewish books, Torah, Tanakh, Talmud, Midrash, I've never seen anything in those books that says that Archangel Gabriel has taken someone's form who is known in a particular city and visit someone. I've never seen it, which makes that Archangel Gabriel in the previous religions of Abraham different from the Jibril of Islam. The Jibril of Islam appeared to Muhammad in the human form with the form and the face of one street boy in Mecca or Medina, known as Dihiyatul Kalbi. So you see, this Jibril is not Archangel Gabriel in the previous religions of Abraham, Judaism and Christianity. No, I'm not fabricating anything. This is in Islamic books. So Jibril is not Archangel Gabriel of the Abrahamic religions. 1. 2. Jibril of Islam sometimes appear to Muhammad in dirty clothes, looking like a mad person. Sometimes appear to Muhammad in beautiful white clothes. There is no such description of Archangel Gabriel in the previous books of the previous religions of Abraham, Judaism and Christianity. In one hadith, the hadith is in Arba'un hadith, before you can find it in other hadith books. Jibril appeared once to Muhammad while Muhammad was having conversation with his companions. He came in Shadidul Bayad Thiyab. He came with white gown, white jalabiya. Shadidu Bayadu Shar, with dark hair. La yura alayhi atharu safar. You do not see the symbols of a traveler on him. Maybe his legs are not stained with dust, as usual in Arabian Peninsula. One of the reasons why they wash their part of bodies before they perform whatever ritual, what you call ablution today, is because of the dust of the desert. It is culture. It is not divine ordained. When they walk in distance or when they do their errand activities in the community, the dust of the desert stain their legs, stain their hands, stain their faces, and because of that, they wash their bodies. That is the ablution you see. It is their culture, not any divine ordained thing. Stop worrying yourself. If you like, take it. If you don't like, leave it. I got no problem. It's your own case. For all I know, you are an Arab eskisa. So, in this hadith, it is said that La yura alayhi atharu safar. So he was very neat. He was in a neat clothes, very neat, looking nice, looking good. Now, in this hadith, Jibril was looking good. In other hadith, Jibril came to Muhammad in shattered clothes, dirty clothes, full of dust. The whole body, from head to toe, Jibril's clothes was dirty, full of dust. Now, putting all these personalities of this character called Jibril, or this entity called Jibril, this Jibril is not Archangel Gabriel of the previous Abrahamic religions. This is a little bit about Jibril. Now, let me take you to the second character, Muhammad. Well, Muhammad as a third character is not that known. In fact, Muhammad was not the name of this character. The birth name of Muhammad is known as Kutham. Whatever happened, or whoever named him Muhammad and why, it's a different story. So the third character, the Muhammad, who embarked on the nocturnal journey and ascended to the seventh heaven, this character is not known. We've discussed it. The date of birth is not known. The month is not known. The year is not known. But there was a character in Arabian Peninsula known as Utham. So, was it Qusam who became Muhammad? If yes, why? Why is the name Qusam went to hide? It's a topic of another day. Now, the last character, the female character, Hind or Fahita or Umuhani. Who is Umuhani? Umuhani was a daughter of Abu Talib, the idol-worshipping uncle of Muhammad, who gave Muhammad protection when Muhammad started preaching Islam. Now, before Islam, in the pre-Islamic era, Muhammad asked the hand of Umuhani or Hind or Fahita's hand in marriage. And another young man who was also known as Hubayra bin Abi Wahab bin Amr bin Aid bin Imran bin Makhzum also asked Umuhani's hand in marriage. Two people came. So Muhammad and Hubayra were competing in marrying Umuhani, Hind, or Fahita. But the father of Umuhani, who was Abu Talib, chose Hubayra over Muhammad. Yes. Did you hear that? Abu Talib chose Hubayra over Muhammad. So Abu Talib married Umuhani, Hind, Fahita to Hubayra. Then Muhammad came complaining. He said, "Uncle, I asked the hand of Umuhani for marriage. You gave her to Hubayra." Listen to the answer Abu Talib gave Muhammad. Abu Talib said to Muhammad, "Well, we decided to make Hubayra our in-law because Al-Karimu yukafi'ul Karima, because nobles always choose and reward nobles." Logically, it means that Hubayra is noble than Muhammad. Hubayra is more important to Abu Talib than Muhammad. Go pick the book of Tabaqat of Muhammad bin Ishaq, volume 8, page 120. The story is there. Even though the scholars of hadith are trying to run away from this incident, but it really happened, because it was a blow to the Prophet of Islam. So they were trying to say this report or this narration is weak. You know how they play the game? When the narration did not go in their favor, it is weak. But when it goes in their favor, it is authentic. Shut up, Mr. Sheikh. Since it is weak, why did you allow it to be put in your books? Shut up. Don't play with our intellect. So this is Umuhani. Now, this is in pre-Islam. Muhammad wanted to marry Umuhani, but the father of Umuhani chose another person over Muhammad. For whatever reason, we don't want to talk about it today. Now, in Islam, Umuhani accepted Islam, and her husband decided not to be a Muslim, so they became separated. And Muhammad went back to propose to her again, and Umuhani rejected the proposal again with a flimsy excuse. I don't want to mention it. Now listen, what is the role that the character Umuhani or Fahita or Hind played in the nocturnal journey of Muhammad and the ascension to 7 heavens? The role she played was that the incident of the nocturnal journey, that night that incident happened, Muhammad slept in the room of Umuhani, a lady he proposed to in the pre-Islamic era and he didn't get, and proposed to her after Islam and she didn't accept the proposal. It was in her room that he slept, and the nocturnal journey happened, and the ascension to heavens took place. Dear listener and thinker, and the one that reason, what do you think about this? This is a preamble of Israil wal miraj. Meet me in the next video as I lay down to you another preamble and wrap the preamble up, and then get into the Israil wal miraj, the descendant of Thoth, the prophet of Africa. I say to you, bye-bye.